That's what I'm usually.
No. It's not a meeting.
Go with that one,
You're
Adrian.
good. We can see your home.
Nobody recognizes me without a mask anymore, so.
My uncle made a joke that after this is over, he's gonna ask people to put masks on so they won't recognize.
I doubt it.
So you recognize
Naomi said, yeah, Charlotte probably won't make a service at 8:00, but she'll watch us tomorrow.
see, I
You know, by Friday night, 8:00's late for her.
There's no bat mitzvahs right now?
Not this week.
and I've done the opposite. I thought I was
Shabbat
doing
shalom,
something
Ken.
for everybody, and it was a
Shalom.
private.
Ken, I like your little beard there. Looks good. Looking really good.
Thanks.
I think you look 20 years younger.
Oh, yeah. What, 20?
Nobody with
And
a
I'm saying that in
beard.
front of the whole congregation. Saying it in front of the whole congregation.
Thank you, George.
Shabbat shalom, David.
Yeah, it looks good.
I mean, after all, we are both from Forest Hills. I mean, that does work.
There you go. We got to stick together.
Hell yeah.
And looks can be deceiving.
Ooh,
I'm
ooh.
Cheryl, you lost the video again.
Yeah.
I had to turn off my video so I could stop combing my hair.
Oh.
So Ellen, there's actually a setting where you can set it so you don't see yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I didn't, I stopped.
Really?
Hide self-view.
Yeah.
You can.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, there it is.
Gonna ask for
Well, no, I just stopped it so I don't, yeah, so no one sees.
mute, so.
Well, no, I don't want anyone to see. I'm meant to be heard but not seen.
Why is that?
Every scene I heard.
Favorite part of the service. I mean, other than the prayers and the sermon. But
That's a good YouTuber.
Shabbat shalom, Don.
Something, let me just saw that. Okay, I will talk to you tomorrow. But hi, everybody.
I don't think we've ever had a Zoom that's been this quiet before the official start.
I was just thinking the same thing.
So then let's talk. Let's talk.
We're
It's
all
been,
still in shock after when.
Got everybody in
it's
one.
been, I was just gonna say it.
I was
It's been,
gonna say Sherry.
it's been an unbelievable week and we needed Shabbat to rest, find peace, find rest, be together and say, you know, what those bums did is beyond belief. I saw one picture of a guy with a T-shirt on that said Camp Auschwitz. I was ready to vomit. I was ready to vomit. I couldn't believe that's here.
Yeah.
Only told me that.
Yeah.
It's been a very long.
Not only do I believe it, but there's a website where you can order them.
Did you see the initials?
Nice.
You can order them.
Oh,
George?
And then there's another one with initials.
yeah.
NMW.
It starts with
Yes,
six.
It's 9 million, 6 million
6 million
weren't enough.
Wasn't enough, yeah.
Really?
Weren't enough.
Oh, my
Yes,
God. Oh.
it's just the
Where
initials.
are we living? What is going on here?
It's the same United States you've always been in, George.
Yeah.
It's just
Now
been,
it's been enabled.
it's been suppressed and now they have permission.
You know, my family escaped from communist Hungary many years ago. I still have relatives who live in Hungary and they're complaining about anti-Semitism there and they all want to come here. And I'm telling them, I can't believe what I'm seeing. It's unbelievable. America's in Budapest now.
It's disgusting.
I cannot
terrible.
believe what's happening to our country.
Well, like I said, I don't think it's changed much. It's just
Hi,
public.
Karen and Don.
Oh,
Yeah.
Please. It's good enough, isn't it?
Let's get the show on the road, shall we? I think that I've been very naive, you know.
Mhm.
Many of us have.
Yes, exactly.
No,
Me too. I have to agree. I've been naive too.
I've experienced too much of it.
where Ken and I grew up in Forest Hills, Queens. I mean, I thought the whole world is Jews. I didn't even think it was anything
Well,
but
it was a
Jews.
Jewish ghetto, like.
Right, you were in a shtetl.
Well, that's
Practically, yeah.
that's
And
the same thing as the Squirrel Hill section of Pittsburgh, right? That's where I grew.
Right.
where I grew up in New Jersey, called West Windsor, I thought everybody's Jews too. It's changing a little bit now, but
Oh, has it?
when I moved in, I thought it was all
Oh,
Jews.
come on.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is a week where Shabbat, as Rabbi Bill used to tell us, Shabbat always comes when you need it most. And here we are tonight all together. We have muted all of you as we're about to start our service. Rabbi Blum will ask you at various points to unmute yourself. And if you have any tech questions, please feel free to use the chat to reach out to me. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So we're gonna open with something a little bit unusual this week. We're gonna learn a new Mi Chamocha. I've been asked to play a little Jewgrass music tonight. This is Jewish bluegrass. This is a song. This version of Mi Chamocha is by a group called Nefesh Mountain. And I think we'll learn it backwards, because there's a nigun that comes in the middle, and I think we should learn that first. It goes yada dai dai da da dai dai da da dai 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 yada dai dai da dai 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 dai. That's all it is. It's real easy. I'll do it slow. Yada dai dai da dai 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 yada dai 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 dai. Try it with me. Yada dai 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 dai. Yada dai 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 dai. That's all it is. So the song goes like this. Mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. So that's the first half. Try that with me. Mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. And then the second part, Nora Tehilot, goes like this. Nora Tehilot Osef Eleh, Nora Tehilot Osef Eleh. So we're going to do just that part. Nora Tehilot Osef Eleh, Nora Tehilot Osef Eleh. Mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora Tehilot Osef Eleh, Nora Tehilot Osef Eleh, mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai. So hopefully when that comes up a little bit later in the service, we'll all be able to sing it together.
Thank you, Cantor, for introducing to many of us Nefesh Mountain. We are going to continue to learn their music over the next few months as we are anxiously and excitedly anticipating their concert during my installation weekend at the end of April. So stay tuned for more tunes from Nefesh Mountain. Welcome to everyone who is with us by Zoom and by YouTube tonight. And as Anne mentioned earlier, this week we are in great need of Shabbat. And George also mentioned this. We need a day of rest from stressful elections, from mobs storming the Capitol, from late night news coverage. We need a day of rest for sacred community, for the study of Torah, for prayers of hope and healing. I am so grateful for Congregation B'chaim, for the opportunity we share to come together when we are in need of strength, support, and comfort. I pray that we will be able to give those gifts to one another this Shabbat. And to welcome in this much needed day of rest, I invite Olivia and Dan Weiner to light the Sabbath candles on our behalf.
In the beginning, emptiness and chaos, a great darkness over the deep. The Spirit of God moved over the waters. Explosion of light, the long chain of emerging life. Behold, it was very good. These candles evoke the very first light. Out of the darkness came reason, purpose, consciousness of beauty, the power to discern and to do what is right. Let us hold the light in our hearts. Let us bring it with us into the darkest corners of creation. Where there is pain and fear, let us offer the light of love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you both. We now raise our Kiddush cups for our prayer of joy, grateful that Shabbat has arrived.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zeicher litziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
L'chaim. And now we turn to Shabbat as a dear friend that we are so glad to see. Let us welcome this friend with open arms.
Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat lekabela la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat lekabela. Or v'zachor b'dibor echad Ishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad U'shem u'tiferet v'niti la 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 Lecha dodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לה 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 לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת לקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת לקבלה התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני נגלה לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
I invite you to type in the chat box, text a friend, or unmute yourselves to greet each other. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Nice to see everybody smiling and some of you bopping to the music.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Kitties.
And our service will continue with Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם עולל מעלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, la la ya la la la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la la la, la 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 la. את אדוני המבורך, ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. Ya la 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 la.
A prayer of courage and consolation by Rabbi Karen Kedar. Holy One of blessing, grant us the will to stand firm in the face of evil and hostility, not to be silent or afraid, to work diligently and faithfully to banish wickedness from the earth. Holy One of blessing, grant us the courage and resolve to speak when there is hatred, to act when there is confusion, to join with others in building a world of safety, understanding, and acceptance. Because there is hate, dear God, help us heal our fractured and broken world. Because there is fear, dear God, grant courage and faith to those in need. Because there is pain, dear God, bring healing to the shattered and wounded. Because there is hope, dear God, teach us to be a force for justice and kindness. Because there is love, dear God, help us to be a beacon of light and compassion. As it is written, be strong and let your heart have courage. Depart from evil, do good, seek peace, and pursue it.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. לה לה יה לה 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 והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך. לה לה יה לה 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 ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. לה לה יה לה 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 למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We'll now hear a reading from Ken Pogrub.
They went forth from Egypt on a single night, but next time the miracle will be different. Once two sages were walking very early in the valley, and they saw the light of the morning star. Said one to the other, "This is how the redemption will be. The dawn breaks with a single ray of light, and bit by bit the sky is illumined, until morning comes and the darkness is gone. So the redemption will occur little by little, growing steadily and gradually until the world is full of light. Do not wait for a miracle or the sudden transformation of the world. Bring the day closer, step by step, with every act of courage, of kindness, of healing and repair. Do not be discouraged by the darkness. Lift up every spark you can and watch the horizon for the coming of dawn. Look closely, it has already begun."
Thank you, Ken. See if we remember this. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. Remember the nigun? Yadadai, dai, dididai, dai, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai, yididai, dai, yadidai, dai, yadidai, dai, dai, yididai, dai, yididai, dai, yididai, dai, yididai, dai, dai, yididai, dai, yididai, dai, yididai, dai, yididai, dai, dai, yididai, dai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים, את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Shaignon once said, "One prayerful sigh is of more avail than all the choirs and singers."
Na 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 Adonai, na 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 sfatai tiftach, na 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 ufi yagid tehilatecha, ufi yagid tehilatecha, na 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 Adonai, na 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 sfatai tiftach, na 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 ufi yagid tehilatecha, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We now take a break in our service to offer up our own blessings, that which we are grateful for this Shabbat. And this Shabbat especially, we want to acknowledge the good in our lives. Whether it's an important, touching moment that you experienced recently, whether you're reaching a special time or occasion, a birthday, an anniversary, a word of kindness that you received, please type in the chat box so we can celebrate with you. Mazel tov, Pat, on her daughter's engagement. Oh, that's so exciting. And this is now the second wedding I've heard about for May 22. It's going to be a great month. Oh, another engagement, Mazel Tov. I've heard over winter break, there's been quite a lot, or between Thanksgiving and now. Oh, happy birthday, almost birthday, Ellen. Birthday weekend. Grateful for my family's health. Happy birthday, John Rockkind. That's right. Shira just turned 3. I still can't believe it. Many of us are grateful for being able to register for the vaccine. Oh, Evan's birthday is coming up. Oh, happy almost birthday. Oh, more babies. May they be healthy and well and help us build a better, brighter world. For Andrea Mandel's leadership in West Windsor. Grateful for amazing teachers and principals. More engagements. Grateful for the family being well. Keep the blessings coming as we turn to our Hebrew words of gratitude.
Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach.
Now we sing a prayer of peace, shalom, wholeness. May it come speedily and in our day.
Say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, amen. Say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, amen. Say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, amen.
We now take a few moments for silent prayer to offer up the hopes and dreams that live in our hearts, to focus on our breath, to just sit in silence.
רצון ימרפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי וגואלי.
Thoughts now turn to those in need of healing, whether that be healing of the body, healing of the mind, healing of the heart, or healing of the soul. If you are keeping someone in your thoughts this Shabbat, I invite you to type those names in our chat box now. We also remember the following loved ones connected to our congregation: Rhoda Schwartz, Arlene Grable, Teddy Molaski, Nathan Hecker, William Jackie Sola, Steve Bizanoff, Marion Berman, Marvin and Ginny Gittleman, Betty Abramowitz, Bob Gast, Chaim Ben Esther, Elaine Berkowitz, Barbara Gladstone, Rosalie Krieger, Lou Baskin, the Mahalko family, Angelo Verzoni, Claire Munkachi, Justin Wajasinga, Marlena Elkin, Lisa Schur, Sheldon Kaplan, Arlene Mulry Pearl, Yisrael Binyamin, Jill Sava, Dorothy Chason, Toby Arias, Piper Fitzpatrick, Diane Walter, Erica Taylor, Carla Brown, Tzipora Bat Shoshana, Yitzhak Moshe Ben Sura Esther, Gail Malter, Sandra Schachter, Ellen Weisberg, the Evans family, Francine Schneider, Lauren Sadok, Stanton Singer, Bernard Greenwald, and Zev Alter Halevi Ben Bracha Leah. We also want to recall all those suffering from COVID-19 and the country of the United States of America.
מי שברך אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב. מי שברך אמותינו, שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mishberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzhak veYaakov. Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
This week we turn to the second book of the Torah, the book of Exodus. Its first few chapters tell a familiar story, one we retell every year around the Passover Seder table. When we recall the Exodus from Egypt, we often focus on the impression of our ancestors and the miracles God wrought to free us from bondage. However, tonight I would like us to take a close look at the central characters of this story, Pharaoh and Moses. Early on in this week's Torah portion, Parashat Shmot, we learn that a new king arose over Egypt who did not know Joseph. This Pharaoh forgot how the children of Israel first came to Egypt. This Pharaoh never knew Joseph, the Hebrew slave who saved Egypt and its neighbors from starvation and enriched that Pharaoh in the process. This Pharaoh succumbed to fear that he would lose his power because of a minority in his midst. And so this Pharaoh abused his power, subjugating the Israelites, doing unto them before they had the opportunity to do unto him. This Pharaoh let fear affect his leadership and his legacy. Then we read about Moses, who grew up in this Pharaoh's house. Moses lived the life of an Egyptian prince until he reached a turning point. The Torah portion tells us one day, after Moses had grown up, he went out to his people and saw their forced labor. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his kinsmen. Moses looked this way and that, and seeing no person, in Hebrew ish, he struck down the Egyptian. Some commentators have understood these verses to say that Moses killed the Egyptian taskmaster when no one was looking. Then he took the abuser's life without any witnesses to the act. However, I came across another teaching this past Wednesday afternoon when rabbis around the country, myself included, were reeling from the unbelievable footage coming from our nation's capital. A colleague suggested Moses noticed that no one else was paying attention, that no one else was willing to see something and say something. Moses witnessed an injustice being committed, and when none of the other people present were able or willing to intervene, he did. This is the first example in the Torah of Moses being an ish tzedek, a righteous person who stands for justice. And we need a lot of justice and righteousness in the not so united states of America right now. Later in Jewish history, a first century rabbi named Hillel taught, in a place where no one is acting like a human being, be the human being. And he uses the same word ish that we saw in our Torah portion. The lesson here is clear, that we should be the ish, be the person, be the mensch, be the one to stand for what is right and just. Be like Moses, not like Pharaoh. The title of this week's Torah portion is also significant. Shemot means names, for the book begins with the names of Jacob's sons who settled in Egypt in Joseph's day. Names are significant in the Torah and in Jewish tradition. One midrash, one rabbinic story teaches that every person has three names, three shmot. The first is the name our parents gave us, our given name. In my case, Adina in English and Sarah in Hebrew. The second is the name by which we are known by others. In my house, I am known as Mommy and Wife. Many of you know me as Rabbi Blum. And then there are the nicknames my friends and family call me. You can guess or ask, but I might not tell. Yet the third and most important is the name that our own deeds have procured for us. Each of us gets this third name based not on what other people call us, not by our job titles, but by our actions. This week's Torah portion teaches us that names matter, that words matter, that actions matter, and choices matter. And each of us has a choice. What kind of person, what kind of ish do we want to be? What do we want to be called? What is the legacy we want to leave? Do we want to be like Pharaoh, prioritizing power over people? Or do we want to be like Moses, standing up for justice and righteousness, often at all costs? Moses meets a turning point in his life in this week's Torah portion. The same is true of our country this week. We Americans have witnessed ugliness and hate, violence and vitriol in the center of our nation, from which we cannot turn away. This is the moment for all good people to come to the aid of their country. This is the time for all the inhabitants of this land to come together as one. This is the hour to actualize the name of this great nation and behave like the United States of America. The choice is ours. In a place where no one is acting like a human being, be the human being, the ish. Let us make an honored name for ourselves, a name linked to the universal values of justice and righteousness that we as Jews hold so dear. Let us speak truth to power, upholding the rights of the weak, and defend our democracy, whose mission is to care for all of its citizens. Let us work together to build a brighter future for us and for all those who follow. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will. We now turn to our prayer Aleinu, reminding us that we cannot ask God alone to make this world a better place. We have to work with God.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts now turn to those who have gone before us, those taken from us in recent days and weeks, and those whose passing we acknowledge this week. Remember several who died this week. Rebecca von Prague, aunt of Ellen Chason, Dorothy Camben, mother of Jean Nitzberg, our former executive director at Kaplan, and Yvette Catlin, wife of Chazan Art Catlin of Adath Israel Congregation. We remember these next loved ones whose relatives are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning. James McGarren, nephew of Keith Sachs, Robert Bright, father of Bill Bright, Peter Hourahan, father of Nancy Gartenberg, Bibi Markman, grandmother of Jeremy Kaber, and Barry Hyman, father of Patty Wold. And we remember the following yard sites whose deaths took place at this week in years past. Erwin Goldman, Arnold Ahrens, Irving Kantrowitz, Isidore Balaban, Paul Finkelstein, Lillian Binder, Albert Gittleson, Belle Byer, Viola Russell, Harriet Cutler, Carolyn Crawford, Edith Krupnick, Bernice Berman, Rhoda Feynman, David Feldstein, Arthur Letterman, Evelyn Glasser, Manuel Greenblatt, Milton Grossberg, Alfred Klipper, Julius Kessler, Irving Cram, Saul Langer, Paul Gitnick, George Rona, Eva Friedman, David Diamond, Albert Shedler, Miriam Gardetz, Cynthia Schiffman, Arthur Turek, Francis Pava, Mildred Zullo, Donald Lindenbaum, Martin Menaker, Sarah Grodd, Benjamin Feynman, Catherine Catcher, Tamby Sheff, and Harold Bernard Siegel, as well as Debbie Friedman, one of the mothers of Jewish folk music in the last century. And now we turn to the hallowed words of Mourner's Kaddish to read together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uv'yomechon, B'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach, Le'alam u'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal, Shemei d'kudisha, brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'elma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim alinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, alinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memory always be a blessing. And now we'll hear a few announcements from our past president, Ken Pogrom. We just need you to unmute, Ken.
Sorry. On behalf of the Board of Directors of Congregation Beth Chaim, thank you for joining us tonight for our Shabbat service. Tomorrow morning, our weekly Torah study meets at 8:45 a.m. Please join us as we usher in the new week with a Havdalah service at 5:30 p.m. On Sunday, we continue the adult education series, Heart, Mind, and Soul at 9:30 a.m. Zoom Religious School Sunday is at 10:30 a.m. and the Tikkun Olam Committee meets at 11 a.m. At 12:30, Sisterhood joins forces with Tikkun Olam to knit for a cause. The Religious Practices Committee has been postponed. Date to follow. The Executive Committee meets on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. This Wednesday, Religious School starts at 4:30 p.m. and 7 p.m., and the Security Committee will meet at 7 p.m. The Chaim will join with JFCS this Thursday evening at 7 p.m. for a special program, Celebrating Your Confidence, Seeing Beyond Your Mirror. The Installation Planning Committee will also meet at 7 p.m., followed by the rescheduled Reopening Task Force meeting at 8 p.m. Please note that our Shabbat service next Friday begins at 7 p.m. As always, we are so thankful for everyone's participation this evening. If you would like a part in a future service, you can sign up using the link in our weekly e-blast. Visit our website, bethchaim.org, for more details about upcoming events. Thank you again for being such a valued member of our congregation.
Thank you, Ken. We'll now turn to music, which gives us so much inspiration and often so much comfort. And we will invoke Shalom, our prayer for peace.
Adonai oz lamo yitain, Adonai oz lamo yitain, Adonai oz lamo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, Adonai oz lamo yitain, Adonai oz lamo yitain, Adonai oz lamo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo.
Maker of peace, help us make peace within our lands, a peace that rings with truth and justice from sea to shining sea. And we'll close out with more words of peace with our Birkat Kohanim, our priestly blessing.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless us and protect us.
Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light shine upon us, and may God be gracious to us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May you always feel that God's presence is near, and may you be blessed with the greatest gift of all, the gift of peace.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
May it be a peaceful week.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.